Hi, this is Dr. Chan here at Crown Dentistry. Today we'll be talking about some of the questions we've been getting about why dental prices vary between different dental practices. So we've been getting a lot of questions about why dental prices vary between dental practices even for the same treatment. And the answer is that there's a lot of variation out there between dental practices. There's obviously a lot of dentists out there, right? A lot of times you'll see a dentist on every street corner as you drive down the street. But the reality is we're not all the same. There's a lot of variation in knowledge and quality and just treatment philosophy. Some dentists out there are absolutely amazing. They're extremely skilled. They want what's best for their patients and every patient that comes through the door. There's also dentists out there that maybe aren't so skilled, either because they're newer or they just haven't had the training or they haven't had the experience. And there's also dentists out there that potentially maybe don't have your best interests in mind as a patient. I'm not trying to put anybody down, that's just the reality. And then of course there's so many dentists in between those extremes. But the reality is that we're not all the same. And there is a big difference between knowledge and experience and quality when you go from one dental practice to another. So just like we were talking about how there's a large variation between knowledge and experience between dental practices, there's also a difference between materials and lab work and training between dental practices. Some dental practices choose to use the best materials and they choose to use the best labs to do their work with like crowns and bridges and implants and dentures. Just like with dental practices, there's a really wide variation in dental labs and dental product companies. Some of them are better than others. Some of them cost more than others. Just like anything else in any other field out there in the world, sometimes you have to pay more for quality. Just because you're paying more or the most doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the best quality. It's really important that we as dentists do our homework and our research to make sure that you as the patients are getting the best quality of materials and lab work and technology for the most fair and reasonable prices. We've talked a little bit about how there's a pretty big variation between dentists when it comes to knowledge and experience. A lot of times dentists who have more knowledge and experience have gone through more training. For example, there are a lot of dental specialists out there who have gone through more schooling than I have as a general dentist. So these specialists are people like oral surgeons, endodontists who do root canals, and periodontists who do treatment for gums. So all of these people have gone through more schooling, and so they have a lot more knowledge than the average general dentist, for example. All of those things cost money. And so as a result, a lot of times their prices for treatment are a little bit higher. And on the same token, a lot of general dentists have gone through a lot of additional training past their original dental school training. That training also costs time, money, and energy. So all of these things do add up to potentially higher costs, but the result is that you, the patient, are getting a much higher level of knowledge and expertise when we take care of you. There's also a pretty good level of variation between dental implant prices. Dental implants are very popular among patients right now, and the technology is amazing and it's growing in leaps and bounds in terms of just the options that are available to patients as well as just the technology that's involved. There is a decent amount of price difference between dental implants because there is a pretty big difference in the level of training and expertise on the part of the dentists that are placing the implants. Dental implant placement is difficult and it requires a lot of knowledge and training and experience. That knowledge and experience, it takes money and it takes investment and time. And so a lot of times when practitioners are more experienced in placing and using dental implants, it may potentially cost more because they've invested a lot more time, money, and energy to be the best that they can be at placing dental implants. The location in which a dental practice is located is definitely going to impact dental pricing, because some areas just cost more to live in terms of where the practice is located, as well as the cost of staffing. Like basically wages may be higher in one area, even of a city, than another area of a city. It'll definitely fluctuate from one city to another. We all know this. Like, for example, things cost more in the Bay Area than they do here in Sacramento. So it's reasonable to assume that prices will also be higher in the Bay Area versus here in Sacramento. When a person has dental insurance, a lot of times their prices will be set by the insurance company. There are obviously plenty of patients who don't have dental insurance, and they might see that their prices are different. That's one of the advantages that people who have insurances have, in that they're able to get their treatment at a particular price. We are definitely sensitive to the fact that a lot of our patients don't have dental insurance, and so we have, for example, an in-house dental insurance plan that we are happy to offer our patients who don't have insurance. And if they are part of that in-house dental insurance plan, they can get their treatment at a discounted rate. A lot of times people will want to compare prices for their treatment at one practice or another. And I think it's really important to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, meaning you got to make sure that the treatment that's being compared is the same. I think it's also important to look at the knowledge and experience of the dentist that will be doing the work. For example, I don't feel like it's necessarily reasonable to assume that you're going to pay the same price for a dentist who maybe just got out of school last year versus a dentist who's been in practice for 20 years. Another thing to think about is that if you're seeing a general dentist versus a specialist, a lot of times the prices won't necessarily be the same, even if the treatment is the same. For example, if you go to get an implant at an oral surgeon or a periodontist, the pricing may be different than an implant that you're getting at a general dentist. So it's really important just to make sure that when you're comparing prices, that you don't just look at the bottom line and the final price. You have to look at what's behind that price. I've always believed that one of the most important things in a relationship between a dentist and a patient is trust. I do my best to build that trust from the minute that our patients walk into our door. I try to connect with them. I try to figure out where they're coming from and what's important to them. And I also try to be as upfront as I can about what we do here, what we stand for, what's important to us, and how we can help them. And like I said, all of this is aimed to trying to build a good relationship where the patient feels like they can trust me and I can take care of them. And so at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to build with all of our patients. I feel like if that's not happening, and if you walk into any dentist and you don't feel like that relationship is being built, then it may not be the right practice for you, and then a second opinion may be needed. So when it comes to dental costs and making informed decisions, I want our patients to know that we are doing our best to offer them quality treatment at a reasonable price. We're doing our best to do our research on materials and training and staffing and everything about our practice so that we can deliver an amazing product to them, which is quality dental care that takes their needs and wants into account and allows them to leave our office in a better place than they came in. So it's your right and responsibility as a patient to do your research and figure out exactly what's going on in any dental practice that you walk into. You want to know that this is a practice that has your needs and wants in mind, and that they're doing their best to deliver quality care to you as the patient. I hope you've been able to answer some of your questions today. If you have any other questions, or if we can offer any assistance to you, please call our office at 916-285-9678. We're here to help.